Welcome to AI Ethics today, and we're talking about something interesting. Your phone edits all your photos with AI. Is it changing your view of reality? That's a BBC story that the two of us saw. Dr. Bruce Weinstein, what are some initial thoughts?
Well, let's read that title a little more slowly because I want to make sure people understand what this article is about. Would you mind doing the honors?
Your phone edits all your photos with AI. Is it changing your view of reality?
And so this BBC article about how Samsung's phone in particular changes how, for example, if you take a picture of the moon, which normally looks like a little pin dot, but with one of their applications, I guess, or one of their features, you can make the moon actually look cool and like it does in science fiction movies. But what the phone doesn't tell you is that it is altering the picture that it takes by compositing lots and lots of other images, and AI picks out the best parts of that and then makes an amalgamation with the photo you just took. So the photo that you end up looking at is not quite what you took. It's enhanced by what Samsung does. And I think the way Samsung puts this is very instructive. The term they use for this process is detail enhancing function. Detail enhancing function.
So, Bruce,
Wait a
are you
minute.
saying
This is
giving
corporate
away-
speak that means absolutely nothing. You know, there's another word for this. If your phone, you're taking a picture of something, and what you look at, you think this is a representation of what I just saw, and it isn't because AI is futzing around with it. What do we call that? A detail enhancing function? No, it's a lie. This is not the truth. Now, you could say all photographs are lies. Yes, they are, because a photograph is not the thing that it represents. But this is altering it in a way that you weren't even aware of. That is one of the ethical issues with this, that unless you read this article, or I suppose were an expert in engineering and knew the intricacies of what the phone was doing, you had no idea that you just look at these photos and you think, I wonder why the pictures of my friends and I look like we're from Madame Tussauds Wax Museum. Now we know. Now, what Apple does, and I believe Samsung does, once you learn about this, you can deactivate those functions. But you have to know about it first. Right? And so
I agree.
So I do want to, but there's a separate issue that because the angle that the BBC article is taking, could these AI enhanced images change the way you think about the experience that you just had? But the thing is, though, I know you're going to talk about your own experiences in a moment, but when my wife and I go on vacations, I take the best images and video clips and make a video out of them, like a travelogue with music. And I find, Jess, that when I watch those videos over and over, or when I think about the experience that we had in, say, Hawaii, I'm not thinking about actually being there. I'm thinking about the video, the medium that I saw instead of the thing itself. So that danger of these images replacing our actual experiences, our memories of having been there, is true whether it's AI enhanced or not.
And I will share a personal story, but where are the ethical issues for you?
Well, we were just talking about that. It's misleading you to believe that your camera is capturing what you saw to the best of its ability, when in fact it is altering what you've seen. Now, we've all been able to, change whether the image is in color or black and white. We've been able to add filters to it. We've been able to change all these things, but we were aware that we were doing that. There are these apps where you can change the kind of filter that's used. You can eliminate the background. You can smooth out. You can eliminate red eye. But you knew you were doing that. The problem that I see based on this article is that it's doing this and people aren't even aware that it's doing it. All they know is that, when I enlarge this picture of the moon that I took, it doesn't look like what I actually saw. It looks like images that I've seen elsewhere of this moon. So it's misleading.
All good points. And I'll just the pieces I want to add that I really got stuck on, and I agree with you in what you shared. It said, "Is it changing our view of reality?" And I spend a good chunk of my day on Zoom, and there's a little feature called "Touch Up My Appearance," and you use a little slider bar, and all of a sudden, I don't have wrinkles anymore, and I look if I slide it too much, I look way younger, but too young. Oh, I gotta go back a little bit, and I can get it just right, and I look nice. And then I use this other app that I have called an actual mirror, and when I walk in front of one, I go, "Huh," because all of a sudden I notice, that my face is, aging with time, which is a good thing. It means we're still alive. But, it is skewing these tools. Here's where I'm going with this. I think we like these tools. "Oh, boy, look how great I look in a photo. I don't feel bad about myself." But on the other side, I think it is changing or skewing our view of reality. And, is that ethically wrong? A point I made in one of our last podcasts was that women use makeup, or lots of people use makeup, and women have high heels, and people wear clothes to dress up how we look, or we do our hair a certain way, or put a color in our hair. We don't have to tell everybody. And I have color in my hair right now. As it's skewing my view of reality, yeah,
I'm more
I look
concerned
at
about the disclosure issue and how that you have to
okay.
be in the know to be aware that AI is interfering or enhancing, as they put, um, with the images that you have taken, thinking that what you're looking at is what you took, and it isn't. Now,
Well,
I
I
believe
like
when
that.
you bought your new phone, Apple walks you through and says, "These are the things you can do with it, or you can uncheck these boxes," right? It tells you up front of what you
Yes,
can or
and I
don't
bet
have
you
to.
the organizations, the phones themselves and the tech organizations would say, "Yeah, remember that long document that you just said, okay, that we agreed, and this is a conversation for another day about what we're agreeing to, but it says we might update things, and it's on you to poke around in 1,000 places on the phone to figure out what you think about some of these."
Yeah,
But
they can get
I
away with that.
yeah,
This is the difference between ethics and the law, by the way, because legally, if you sign that or you check, you agree with it, and it's no one reads those. The intellectual property attorneys don't read it. No, nobody reads these things. You would have to spend an inordinate amount of time, and you can't understand it anyway. But just because that legally they're in the clear if they want to change things without informing you, is that a good business practice? Do you really want people on podcasts like this and or podcasts with wider viewership than we have to be talking negatively about your company? Why would you
right.
want that? You
And
can easily prevent it.
you've said in our online course, there's the letter of the law and there's the spirit of the law. And is the spirit that we should know things instead of them saying, "Ah, we once said we might update, and it's on you to figure it out." The spirit should be to be transparent and to let people know if there are any issues. So I mean, all this is all unfolding very quickly, meaning technology and AI tools. And AI came on the scene only 2 years ago and is now baked. It really literally is baked into everything, from when you're sitting in your car and the stoplight is deciding if this is the right type of day, to everything in our phones, to you name it.
Wait, so
So
stoplights now are being controlled by AI and adjust the traffic
everything,
flow
you name it. Yes, anything that has
for
either
current?
electronics connected, every software company is saying, "How should we be using this?" Actually, on YouTube, where many people are watching this video, I noticed they have a function now that I can go to any YouTube video, and I don't know if it's because I have the paid version or not, and I can click the Gemini little logo, and it will give me a list of choices. I can interact with the video, or I can say, "Just give me a summary of this video." I can't possibly listen to Bruce. I just want a summary and not listen to the content that Bruce created.
That's probably how I'll listen to it.
Well, but that's a debate
Yeah.
for another day, which is really what's happening now on the internet, where I created blog content on my website, and AI, including Google and search, is saying, you don't even have to go over there. We're just going to give you the basic answer in a little blurb. So the person says yes and never even makes it over to
The
my
same thing
website.
with voicemail messages and even text that we get. It summarizes. So you don't actually have to experience anything directly. You can have AI just summarize it all for you. But talk about
Which,
losing touch with reality.
yeah, which I'll let the audience know. Bruce sent me an audio, but he attached an audio. And I said, can you use the feature where I can get the transcription? So I don't have to, and I didn't say so I don't have to hear you, but it's a feature.
I wasn't aware that you said that to me because I didn't read it.
You didn't even read it. Too long.
No.
TLDR, too long, didn't read. See, you needed the synopsis. That's why I said to you, in the future, can you just use their function? I can quickly read through and
Wait, so
actually
tell me, just so I know, so when I make a voice memo to you and I go on too long, what do I do to make it intelligible to you?
what Bruce does is he goes to an audio recording tool and then attaches it back into the email, as
Oh, I see.
opposed to going into text and clicking, I want this to be audio, and you do it within it, and then you click it and it will give me both versions. It'll give me the
Why do you
transcript.
think I use the voice memo app on the iPhone instead of that little microphone app on text?
You said you'd like to have a record to go back to?
No, the audio quality is better for one thing, but I
Yeah, but you
find
just get, well, now we're just talking about our own personal stuff in front of everybody, but
okay, we'll cut this out. But also,
no, I don't want to cut it out. We want to
well,
we want to make this tight. So we
okay, I
have to
just
leave
want to
it
say
in now
quickly
because
that
of our own
I
rules.
find that it's difficult to keep that microphone icon pressed through all the things I want to say.
No, you don't have to. Yeah, I'll show it to you later. But you don't have to. You don't have to keep it pressed. You could press it and then it just keeps going.
See, well, now why didn't anybody teach me that? It wasn't in the instructions. How was I supposed to know this? Not
Here's how we
everybody
bring
has a
this.
phone.
Here's how we bring this home. It's the exact same thing with them using AI tools to enhance our photos.